Right, now that you have turned in that quiz, then let's get your math workbooks out. And there we go. We're moving on to lesson 23. We're going to keep working on equivalent fractions. We were kind of introduced to them at the end of lesson 22. Now we're going to continue on with that. So you are going to tear out, I'll put it on the board like I've been doing the last few times. Oh, that's hard to see, isn't it? Is that better? Okay. 493, 495, 499, 501, 503. We are. This is a long lesson. Go ahead and tear out through 519. All that. No, we won't get it done today, but it's easier just to keep track of our pages like this and just pulling them out of our folder each day. So this means 503 through 519. All right, did you get it all torn out?
Yeah. I don't have the first one.
Okay, you can put your workbook back in your crate once you have those torn out. You must have torn it out already. That's okay. Okay. Now, we're actually going to start working on 495 because this is the one that goes home. Okay? All right, so on 495, it says, previously you learned that equivalent fractions name the same amount of the whole. In this lesson, You will learn more about finding equivalent fractions. Use what you know to try to solve the problem below. All right, this is one where they have us practice it out, and then they go and show us how they broke it all apart to solve it. But let's go ahead and read this word problem together. Izzy's mom bakes a cake. She puts chocolate frosting on half of the cake and vanilla frosting on half of the cake. Then Izzy's mom cuts the cake into fourths so that each fourth has either all chocolate or all vanilla frosting. What fraction other than 1/2 names the part of the cake that has chocolate frosting? We're going to jump ahead. Let's actually look at this second part on the back side of that page. Okay, so we're on page 496. Whoops. So this is her cake that she baked, all right? You have seen many different types of fraction models, such as area models, number lines, and fraction bars. You can find equivalent fractions by dividing the same model in different ways. Each cake below shows, thank you for joining me, draw lines on one of the cakes to show 8s. But remember, it has to stay all chocolate or all vanilla, right? So which one would be the easiest way for you? Choose one of those cakes to show 8s. So how many parts are you going to be cutting it into now? 8 equal parts. So if I were to cut this cake so that it's not in 4 parts anymore, it's going to be in 8 parts. What would I need to do that so that the parts are still equal? They need to be even, right? What should I do? Raylin? Know what you're going to say if I call on you. So I need to go from 4 parts to 8 parts. Could I do this? So now I have 1, 2, 3, 4 here. So what would I do on this side? I would do the same thing. Are those parts equal? Are there 8 of them now? Okay. So this one, they split it into 4 parts. What would we need to do to make it 8ths or 8 equal parts? Connor?
You would cut it down the middle.
Right. He was showing me on his paper like this. That's not even, but you get the idea. Okay, now they did this a little differently, right? They split it in half, and then they split it diagonally. What would we do to make it 8 equal parts on this third cake? Haley?
Make an X over the...
Right, create an X here. Like that?
Yeah.
And then same over here. Does that give us 8 parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So at first, only 2 pieces had chocolate frosting, right? Now, how many pieces of the cake have chocolate frosting? Everybody? 4. All right. You can also look at equal-sized parts on a number line to find equivalent fractions. Fill in the fractions for fourths that is equivalent to 1/2. So they're saying here that this would be 1 part, or sorry, that's 0. This is 1 part, and this would be the second part, right? They split this number line into 2 equal parts up on the top. But then down on the bottom, they've split it into how many? 1, 2, 3, 4. So what's the fraction for fourths that's equivalent to 1/2? If I were to label all of those marks, what would this first one be? 1/4. What's the next one? 2/4. Is that equivalent to 1/2? 2/4 is equivalent to 1/2. Equivalent means what? Equal to. How do I know they're equivalent? Whether I look up here or whether I look on this number line. How do I know they're equivalent? 1/2 and 2/4. Connor?
They're both the
You're right.
yeah, they're both like the same amount.
Are they the exact same amount? Whether I have it split into 2 parts or 4 parts, is it still the same amount of cake over here? Yeah. Or whether I have it split into 2 parts or 8 parts, is it still the same amount of cake? Yeah. We just talked about 3. We skipped that page. Let's go to the page that has the oranges on it. All right. So, looking at that problem with the oranges, do they? Yep, they work us through that one too. Actually, let's just flip it over. Let's look at page 500. Okay, so it says, Carl eats 2/8 of an orange. Do you see the model that they showed for 2/8? Trey's orange is the same size. He eats 1/4 of it. Do you see Trey's orange here? Okay, so show that the 2 boys eat the same amount of an orange. Do you see why it's important to color the same parts, the same sections of your model that you make? Makes it easier for our eyes to be able to compare those, doesn't it? So they split this orange into 8 equal parts, and Carl ate 2 of them. If an orange is split into 4 equal parts and Trey ate 1 of them, are those equivalent? Did they eat the same amount? Yes. So 2/8 is equal to 1/4. Look at the model of 2/8. The solid lines divide the circle into fourths, just like they did over here, those solid lines. But then do you see those dashed or those broken lines? show us how they split it then into the 8 equal parts. Okay. Number lines. This is exactly what we've been talking about. It's just a quick review before we move on. Number lines can show both fourths. Fourths are up on top. Eighths are underneath. And then it helps you see the equivalent fractions. What's equivalent to 3/4? Raylan?
6/8.
Right. What's equivalent to 4/8? Reese?
2/4.
And what's equivalent to 1/4? Natalia?
2/8.
2/8. Is there anything equivalent to 1/8? No. Okay. So let's look at the questions on the back side of that go with the picture right here. They're going to have us go through each of those parts. But look at the picture it models. How do you know that 2/8 of the first model is shaded? How do we know for sure that's 2/8? What did we have to do first? Raylan? Okay, we know that it's split into how many equal parts, everyone? 8 equal parts. And if we count those, how many parts are colored in? 2. So we have to first figure out how many equal parts there are in a shape. And then we can identify how many are shaded. All right? Same thing here. What do we need to do first? Count what? What are we counting? Okay, we're not focusing on the lesson, friends. So here's what we're going to do. I'm going to have you solve 8 on your own right now. I'll read it with you, but you're going to solve it on your own. So then maybe you're going to stay focused on what we're doing. So looking at page 502, number 8. Read it with me. Is everybody on page 502? Your pages should be in order. I don't know why you have pages all over your desks, some of you, but you need to have them in order. I'm moving on. Lena and Adam each order a small pizza. They eat the same amount. Lena eats 3/4 of her pizza. Adam's pizza is divided into 8 slices. How many slices of pizza did Adam eat? Show your work. If you want to draw both of them, that's fine, so that you have both visuals, both models right there in front of you. If you prefer a number line, that's okay too. But if you would rather draw the circles, once you have that solved, then write down how many slices of pizza Adam ate. Okay. Now, think about what kind of model would you use for this? To show 2/3 is equal to 4/6. So we know that they are equivalent. You could either draw fraction models, you know, the fraction bars, and line up your 2/3 and your 4/6 across from each other. Do you know what I'm talking about when I say that?
Yeah.
So you could do this. Okay, that's one way. Could you do circles? Sure. Oops. But one's going to be split into how many equal parts? 3. And the other one's going to be split into 6. Okay. In one of them, you're going to shade in 2 of those 3. And in the other one, you're going to shade in 4 of those 6. Or you could do a number line, right? Where you would have 0 and 1. And then you could show thirds across the top and the sixths across the bottom. It's up to you. What other ways have we learned about? Are those the ones? I can't remember. But go ahead and choose one of those ways to show that those are equivalent, equal to each other. Remember when you're doing thirds, friends, if you're doing it in a circle, it's going to kind of look like a peace sign in a way. Okay. Then if you do the one that is sixths, you're going to do the exact same thing there, but then each one of those will be as neatly as you can split. Okay, are you getting part 9 completed?
Yeah.
Part 10, let's do together because this one's different than something we've done before. All right, so we're using the number line to find a fraction equivalent to 1/3. Now, how do I know what an equivalent fraction is to 1/3? Could it be like 1/4? If I split this into 4 equal parts, is that going to work? Oops, I got too many marks in there. Hold on. I'm confusing myself. There's 1/2. There we go. Is that going to work? Fourths? No. Look at my denominator. What's our denominator? 3. I want to double that. If I double 3, what do I have? 6. So let's split this into sixths. What is half of 6 though? 3. So I have my halfway mark, which is 3/6. All right. So I have to have 6 equal spaces from here to here, right? So 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Oops, I should have lined that up there. Right there. What's this fraction right here? 1/6. Then
2.
we already had 3/6. What's next?
4.
After that?
5.
And what would the 1 whole be? 6/6. What fraction is equivalent to 1/3? On our number line that we just created, what fraction is equivalent to 1/3? Reese?
3.
No. Find 1/3 on that number line. And what's right underneath it, Reese? 2/6. Okay. All right. What I'm going to have. Ooh, we need to do some talking about above stuff. We got some issues here. If we look back at the pizza one, does a pizza always have to be round? No. Could a pizza be rectangles? Okay. So does it matter which one I do, except those aren't the same size, are they? They're still not the same size. Okay, so the pizza is split into fourths for Lena, right? So that's the best way to split a circle into 4 equal parts. What if I split Adam's pizza like this? Is that going to work?
No.
No. Why not?
It's not equal.
None of those are equal. So this one cannot happen. I'm going to do fourths, and then I'm going to split each one of those in half. So now I have 8. Okay, I could have done Lena's pizza like this. 4 equal parts. What would I need to do for Adam's pizza then to get 8 equal parts? Could I still split it in half like that?
Yeah.
Then what would I need to do? My stomach's growling.
No, mine is.
Could I do this?
Yeah.
Okay. So how much of Lena's pizza does she eat? What does our problem tell us, everybody? 3/4. So she eats 1, 2, 3. She eats 3 of the 4 pieces. I have to show that Adam eats the same amount on his pizza. So I'm going to do 1, 2. Do I need to do more? 3, 4. Am I done?
No.
5. Am I done?
No.
6. Am I done?
Yes.
Yes. Okay, let's look at it on this one. Lena eats 3/4 of her pizza. So Adam's going to eat those 2, and those 2, and those 2. So how many slices of pizza did Adam eat, everyone?
6.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 6 slices. Okay? Now on this next one, draw a model to show 2/3 is equal to 4/6. If you struggle with the circles, it might be best to not do them. Thirds, sixths, right? Yeah. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, I think is right. All right, so 2/3 equals 4/6. 1, 2. Now over here I'm going to color in 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are they equivalent? Yes. So 1, 2. 1, 2, 3, 4. Are they equivalent? What if I chose to do a number line? I'm going to go off the paper here. I would need to split it into thirds first, right? One, 2, 3. So here I have 1/3 and 2/3. Here I would have, I have to do sixths. 4, 5, 6. Would a number line like that be okay to do? To show that 2/3 is equal to 4/6. The thing you have to remember is when you are dividing a circle, you can't do it like that or like that. Those are not equal pieces. No, no. Okay? All right. It is time to get ready for lunch. So just put all of that in your folder for right now. We'll deal with what we did later that you can take home. Okay?